setting up a colony-wide committee of safety. One of the first actions of the committee was to name Artemas Ward as general and commander-in-chief of the colony's militia. And he was also considered the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army prior to George Washington being made the general and commander-in-chief. And by one of its first acts, the Continental Congress made General Washington the commander-in-chief and General Ward the second in command. During several things like the Battle of Lexington and Concord, the battles of Bunker Hill, which he directed from his bedside, he was often not able to be right at the battle site, but he decided who did what and how they prepared for it. One of the things that he did was to get General Knox and General Greene to group up their militias with some oxen and march up to Fort Ticonderoga when Boston was under siege to run the British out in the wintertime, no roads, and bring back all the cannon and the cannon shot that the British had dumped into the marshes in the lake at Fort Ticonderoga. And they did so. And when they brought them back to Dorchester, as General Ward had told them to do, they brought them on the cover of night up to Dorchester Heights, and using bales of hay and saplings and canvas and mud, they made what looked like battlements with these cannons pointing out at the harbor of the British fleet. And the British woke up the next morning and spied these battlements that just miraculously appeared overnight with all these guns pointing at them, and 2 days later they left Boston. So that was, this family, General Ward and his family, are some of the most interesting people that came out of Shrewsbury to me as an outsider. One of his descendants, who was also named Artemas Ward, was the father of modern advertising, was a big mogul in advertising in New York, and was the Artemas Ward who donated the family estate to the Harvard University. He also wrote books about farming, about groceries, and about how to sell food in America, which became the first Bible to food marketing. Thought that was interesting. The last two generations of daughters of the Ward families that lived there were not only curators of what had already become a museum, but they knew who the family was, and they documented all of the things that are there, who owned it, who used it, where it came from, everything about it. So you've got the history of the place, all of the artifacts that are there, photographs, and all of the things that belong to that family right there. General Ward was also a proponent of helping Native Americans who lived in the area, and there were Native Americans there as late as their ability to be photographed. So this was in the 1800s, late 1800s. But he encouraged them to do things like use their weaving techniques to make caning for chairs, which they could do for all of the people, the settlers in the area, and help them make money and maintain themselves in such a way on their own properties. That was very unusual for an American to do something like that with Indians in this area at that time. One of the last daughters of the family who lived there also wrote a book about it. It's called Life in Shrewsbury. And it's about the average daily life of someone who lived in the late 1800s into the 19th century, early 19th century. And it's very, very charming reading. So, two chimney houses.
John's an artist, that is his painting.
Yeah. So, it's not a long trip away. It's a very close house to visit, and it's right on East Main Street. If you go through Northborough, and instead of going to the cutoff, you take a right and go up the hill toward Shrewsbury. It's on the left, across from Dean Park. It's a lovely area. The barn is one of the largest barns on the eastern seaboard, maybe one of the largest barns in America. And the base of the barns is started with entire tree trunks. They just chopped the trees down, cut them off the right level, placed stones underneath, and that was the base of the barn. It's a fascinating barn. Any questions?
any questions for John?
You can take the virtual tour at Harvard.edu and on the website, and it's really fascinating.
Thank you, thank you. That concludes our, this part. So right now we can just talk, you can ask people questions, you know, privately if you want, if you're inspired by anything that you would like to know about. You can come up and look at what's here, grab some coffee, it's decaf, some cookies, water. And I also wanted to invite you, before I forget, we have a couple of events coming up. One of them is the Kerry Boys. They're a Celtic group, and they were at the Riverview. Did you go last year?
Yes, we did.
They were great, right? They're coming back again, February 22nd, 7:30, and we'd love to have you come and join us. They're a lot of fun. They're really wonderful. And we also, the Portuguese Club is offering food this year for sale, so as part of that. And then right here on this wonderful stage, we are doing Blithe Spirit as part of our Ghost Spirits and Past Lives season, and that takes place in April. We just cast the show. It's such a funny Noel-powered play. And that will be happening April 26th, 27th, and 28th. But I'll see you again before that, because we're going to meet on February 28th. So if you'd like to just mingle and chat and come up and take a look, ask some questions. Thank you so much.
Okay.